for me. This is, I guess, my second time preaching in the 19th service. You know, one thing that I adore about Unitarian Universalism is the way that we draw our water from many wells as we nourish our thirst for understanding and inspiration. So this includes not just the recognized 6 sources of UU, including the world's religious traditions, humanist teachings, and individual wisdom, but as we've seen done so well so many times from this pulpit, can also draw from a wider world of science, history, philosophy, art and literature, and personal lived experience. These are all valid teachers that can strengthen our understanding and practice of Unitarian Universalist principles. I've been at UTC for about a year and a half, but I think that my fate of becoming a UU was sealed years ago when, in my early 20s, I'd occasionally visit the local UU church where I lived in Knoxville. One Sunday, there was a guest speaker who was a scientist and professor at the University of Tennessee who shared that Carl Sagan quote that we are all made of star stuff. So that idea that as our star, or as our sun is a second or third generation star, the carbon, calcium, molecules that make up our bodies were only created because they were spewed from the death of red giants billions of years ago. I fell in love in that moment, a little bit. Not just with that idea, but with a church who viewed science not with suspicion, but as a respected source of wisdom and wonder. So I'm here today to share with you from my own source, from my profession as a practicing psychologist. If you're familiar with therapy and counseling, you may know that there's lots of different theories out there, and like most practitioners in my day-to-day practice, I draw from a variety of approaches. But one theory that I find to be philosophically compelling, as well as just personally, practically useful, is called acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT. We call it ACT, not ACT, because, as we'll see, action is a lot of what it's all about. ACT was first developed by Stephen Hayes, that has had many contributors over the years. It's fitting that I share ACT here in this setting, because as you may realize, if you're a student of Buddhism, many of these ideas are not actually original. As the author will readily acknowledge, many of these are adapted ideas from Buddhism as well as other Eastern religious traditions. From the time of its development, ACT has also been firmly grounded in neurological, behavioral, and cognitive science. And the effectiveness of ACT has also been well researched. These ideas that I'm sharing with you today, when applied to our lives, have been found to be effective for anxiety, depression, all sorts of problems in living. So ACT begins with an acknowledgement that mental pain in itself is not actually pathological. Instead, pain is the cost of being human. Pain is what happens when we are alive and paying attention in a messy world. Pain is inevitable. It's up there with death and taxes and the guarantees of life. It's coming. Pain is not actually a problem. The problem is how we answer when pain knocks at our door. Too often, we treat pain like an unwanted guest at our house party of life. So we stand guard at the door, vigilant to not let him in. While we're doing that, that sucker sneaks in the back. pain does come in, we try to talk him into leaving. We argue with him, cajole him, reason with him, even threaten him. He doesn't budge. Sometimes he yells back at us. Or we spend our whole party hiding under our beds, there with the dust bunnies staring at our mattress springs, hoping upon hope to avoid making eye contact with our unwanted visitor. But with all these strategies, pain still attends. And more importantly, we miss out on our party. In practice, there's lots of ways that we get stuck in that struggle with pain. We may try to play life safe, thinking if we don't take any risks or do anything scary ever, maybe pain will pass by our door. Or we try to talk ourselves out of being in pain by arguing, judging, shaming ourselves, telling ourselves to snap out of it. We try distractions to numb ourselves, food, the substance of our choice, or just binge watching TV. We treat pain like a hot potato. I can't hold it, so here, it's your problem now. I'm blaming you. With all of this, these are all forms of avoidance of our experience, which we try to avoid our experience of pain. And avoidance can work as a strategy in the physical world. There's a dog in your neighborhood that you know bites. It makes sense to walk a different street home, or at least cross the street. But we cannot avoid our internal experience. We cannot avoid what's inside of us. When we try, it leads to a rebound effect, where our pain intensifies and we get stuck in it. These avoidance strategies themselves can create a host of other problems. As our lives grind to a halt, our relationships clog, and we become derailed from the path of meaningful living. This is what we call suffering. So if avoidance of the pain of life is the problem, what's the solution? What can we do about it? The alternative is to drop the struggle. We can welcome all visitors into our home. We can practice willingness to have whatever thoughts, feelings, sensations, memories may arise in any given moment. Whatever arises, we can simply let it be. We call this acceptance. Acceptance is not a passive thing. It is not giving up or shrugging your shoulders. Instead, acceptance means making room for our experience. To expand, to be able to hold it all with open arms. Acceptance is being committed to seeing things as they are. And this doesn't mean that it's what you like, what you would have wanted or preferred, or ultimately how you want things to be. But by dropping the struggle and seeing things as they are, this can free us up for better living and lessen our suffering.